So this was murder, and it really should not have been so fucking difficult to figure out. I've got a Samsung phone. By default, the keyboard that the phone uses is a Samsung keyboard. With the Samsung keyboard, there is no old-fashioned little red line spell checker. On the contrary, you have the option of a little row above wherever the keyboard is of the words you're typing, where it will suggest potential words and not show you whether or not you're right or wrong. You have to simply keep looking back and forth from where you're typing to what it's suggesting. Or it can just change words on its own, whether or not they're correct or anything like that. I'm old. I wanted the old-fashioned spell checker where I'm typing, and if I type a word incorrectly, there's a red line under it, and then I can try to correct it, and in the process, learn how to spell better. Well, I've had this phone, and maybe almost a year at this point, and it just makes typing miserable. And I was bummed out, and I kept Googling it and going into the stupid Play Store and trying to figure out how to get the regular old-fashioned red line spell checker. Well, here's how you do it. Go to the Play Store and search for Gboard and install the Google keyboard. Once you've installed that, what you need to do is go into the settings. Depending on which flavor, quote unquote, of Android you have, it might be called something different, but just scout around until you find things like language and keyboard. And then in there, see how it says Gboard setting? Normally this will display the default keyboard, which in my case was the Samsung keyboard. You have to change that to the Gboard. Underneath that, there's keyboard list and default, and just make sure that the Gboard is set as your default keyboard, and then go into the Gboard, and in text correction, make sure at the bottom with spelling and grammar that you've made it your default spell checker, because by default it won't be, and then you can turn on spell checker and off grammar correct, and up here there's auto this and that, and get rid of all that stuff, and then it'll work when you type the way it always has. See the red line? That's all I wanted. That wasn't so hard, but it took me like a year to figure it out.